Tucked away in eastern Nepal, Kanchanjunga is the third highest mountain on Earth. It's a massive, mist-shrouded wall of rock that physically divides nations. Other parts of the Himalayas have experienced heavy economic booms driven by mass tourism, often at a severe cost to their local ecology. Trails are crowded and the landscapes are heavily commercialized. This raises an interesting question. How does a region survive economically when it is locked away in one of the most remote, historically sensitive border zones in the world? The answer lies in that very isolation. Kanchanjunga's complex, highly contested geography kept the modern world at bay, creating an impenetrable fortress that preserved both its culture and its environment. To understand how Kanchanjunga built a sustainable model for its future, we have to look back at the hard borders that shielded it in the first place. If you look at the map, Kanchanjunga sits at a strict geographical choke point, where the eastern edge of Nepal meets the Indian states of Sikkim and West Bengal. During Nepal's unification, this eastern frontier was fiercely contested. Securing it meant pushing back local empires and the British Raj. These struggles caused long-standing border disputes. Because this line had to be heavily defended, the region remained highly sensitive and closely monitored for decades. That ongoing political tension had a surprising side effect. It completely halted mass infrastructure. Large roads and industrial tourism operations simply couldn't be built in a contested security zone. Add in the harsh, almost impassable physical terrain, and casual exploration was practically impossible. With government and heavy industry kept at arm's length, the local indigenous communities who lived there became the de facto guardians of the land. Centuries of defensive posturing and political friction had effectively created a massive, completely untouched quarantine zone for nature. This natural fortress has been home to the Bote, Rai, and Limbu communities since ancestral times. Because they lived directly on the boundary line, they developed a fluid, shared culture with their neighbors. Their daily lives and local economies rely heavily on cross-border trade, moving goods back and forth through the mountain passes. Their indigenous Kirat religion deeply roots these local communities in the landscape. Their spiritual practices are tied directly to the land, mandating the protection of local forests, rivers, and high-altitude resources. When you combine that generational cultural stewardship with the region's long geopolitical isolation, you get a perfectly preserved alpine ecology. Without the heavy footprint of mass human development, highly sensitive wildlife like the red panda and the snow leopard continue to thrive here. Today, locals leverage this exact biodiversity. They manage the Kanchanjunga trekking route as a low-impact ecotourism model, strictly controlling visitor numbers to protect the environment. These indigenous communities took a politically isolated borderland and turned its remoteness into a highly sustainable, exclusive economic engine. Kanchanjunga today stands as a delicate, thriving ecosystem. It runs on a careful balance of local cross-border trade, traditional agriculture, and mindful ecotourism. In Kanchanjunga, the border functions as a living zone that protects everything within it. As other popular destinations struggle under the weight of mass tourism, Kanchanjunga offers a clear lesson. Protecting your indigenous culture and ecological diversity is actually the most valuable economic asset a region can have. Ultimately, by remaining hidden behind a hard border, Kanchanjunga secured its future. If you want to discover more hidden places where geography shapes destiny, make sure to subscribe. We'll be bringing you a
नमस्ते हजुरहरूले लोकज्ञान आर्ट्सलाई माया गरिदिनु होला लाइक शेयर कमेन्ट गरिदिनु होला
धन्यवाद।